What's up guys, CJ Champion here. I'm a 6-foot professional dunker with a near 48-inch vertical. Today we are judging dunks again, and I'm very excited because something cool that's happening right now is colleges are creating dunk clubs. People inside the colleges who are dunk nerds and addicts, they are creating their own dunk clubs. And over at University of South Florida, shout out Florida, we have a dunk contest. It's a low rim 8'5" dunk contest. There's a cash prize for the winner, $300 for whoever wins, and I am gonna be the judge. I'm gonna be using the World Dunk Association judging, so that includes simple rating system and complexity. And let's just get right into it. We have our first dunker. First dunker we have is Jacob Yoon, and I will show his Instagram right here. At the real Jacob Yoon, and his first dunk we have a double up. Here we go. Wait for it. Bang. Okay, we got the double up windmill. We got the push windmill. So a few things we're gonna look into, and I'm gonna go about this really quickly. We got the flight at 1 because we have the push. It is a push. I'm gonna move this up so you can kind of see a little bit of the push. Covering some distance here too, but we have the push. I dock a lot of points, about 3 points for a push like that. So the flight's gonna be 1. Styles 3, we still had like a full windmill, just about a full windmill. And the finish of the 3.5, it was pretty punchy. It was pretty accurate. It wasn't like insanely crazy of a punch, but 3.5 is solid. Complexity, because the ball stands still, we're doing just the windmill motion, is 16 points. For the windmill, and he was also first try, so he gets a total score of 46 on that one. Okay, we're gonna move to Jacob's second dunk. Hey, that's a rare one. That is a rare one. This reminds me of Sherman Sue. He has a kind of a dunk like this, and he really like winds up one way and then comes back the other way. But Jacob is doing a scorpion finish with this one hand cuff here. And something to note too that's also interesting is we have a reverse spin. So his natural spinning motion would be to spin right, but this way he's spinning left. Actually pretty tough to do. Well, I know, at least for me, because, well, I've tried it before and I've hurt my knee doing it, so I stopped doing them. But anyway, pretty cool, unique dunk. We're gonna go look at the scores really quick. So we have, the complexity is 12.1 with this dunk, because essentially if we had some more motions going on, essentially it is a cuff one-hander bringing over to the opposite side, and then he's got a scorpion finish, which is bonus points as well. And then we have about a 90-degree rotation, which is also adding points. So it does total out to be just 12.1. Now the flight is 3, style 3, finish 3. It's a very, very solid dunk overall. And because it was first try, it's 48.1 compared to his first dunk, which was a 46. So one more time. It looks good. Yeah, I think we could overemphasize. If I wanted to add more style to it, I feel like we could really hold this position out here over to the left. And then he is also finishing. He does look at the finish, but he tries to do a no-look finish, but we do have a 90-degree rotation there. So all of that was pretty good. We're gonna move forward, see what his last dunk. Also, it looks like it's just started raining here at this point. It was so grainy at that point. So maybe he was jumping in the wet. And we have a double up scorpion, or a double up crab actually in this case. We do have the push crab. And again, the rim is 8'5", Jacob is 5'8". Take that into account when you're thinking about flight. And we do have a bit of a push here with a really solid crab finish. You can see it's actually kind of cool. It's very like the rim touch. It was just kind of flicks the rim and he just drops the ball in. Honestly, it kind of makes for a cool finish, I think. For once, it's hard to get a really powerful finish on a crab, but for once, I think that's kind of a pretty cool finish. Again, it could have been a little bit more punchy and it could have been a little more precise, but still a solid, well-executed, no-look crab. So we're gonna get into that real quick. So push crab, we got a complexity of 19. Push crab's got some added complexity, and It's basically a windmill motion. And I know it's more of just a push straight up, but there's a windmill motion with the crab finish. No rotation on that one, I don't think. So he didn't get any rotational bonuses there. And then again, the flight, we have the push. So the flight's going to be a 1. Style 3.5. I liked it. Again, I thought he got some extra points for the no look finish. And the finish, again, yes, could have been punchier. It was somewhat precise, but fingertips, I still think it looked kind of cool. I like the style on it, so I still gave it a 2 on the finish. And then it was another first try make. He was first try for all 3 dunks, and he gets a score of 45 for that one. So there's Jacob Mune. So now we're going to move on to our next dunker. We have Porter Williamson. Porter Williamson, his Instagram right here, Porter Williamson, Porter J. Williamson. And he's 6'2". So he's 6'2", and again, the rim is 8.5, well, 8'5" to be exact. And then let's look at his first dunk right here. Fast forward a little bit. 1 foot, very cool. 1 foot, we got like a 2-hand reverse windmill, but off 1. Very interesting. Pumps super early, and then as he's in there, that's when he brings the ball down and starts his windmill motion with the 2-hand finish and backwards. Do we have any? No, not too much spinning going on there. So anyway, solid, really good jump height. Now I know he is 6'2", so his head being at the rim, I know it's not a great way to gauge your flight, but still jumped decently for that. It was about, maybe for him, maybe a 33-inch jump. And by the way, for flight, I'm giving, if somebody hits like 40 inches, that's a 5 for me on this hoop. That's how I'm kind of gauging it. A 1 might be, to be able to dunk, the shortest guy here to be able to dunk, I think would be about, you need 11 to 12 inches-ish of vertical to dunk. So I think that's going to be 1 for the flight, and then 5, again, 40 inches. For this guy to get a 5, he needs to be about like neck at rim. And I think that would be close to a 48-inch jump. And again, that's not the most accurate way of showing someone's vertical. Anyway, let's look at the score that we have for the 2-hand reverse windmill. Complexity 20. It's high up. He's finishing backwards, finishing with 2 hands, and we have a windmill motion. A lot of good points there. Flight 3.5, because he was maybe about like forehead, maybe hair at rim-ish. Style was nice. I thought it was interesting. He brought the ball up early and then swung all the way through. The swing through motion, it was deep enough. It was exaggerated enough to add a 4. I thought it was pretty. And then the finish, I think he might have, he might have front rimmed a little bit here, so he gets a 2. No, he didn't front rim. It was more back rim and rattled in. So it wasn't perfectly precise in terms of pushing the ball straight down. It was more at the back rim there, and then it rattles in. Didn't help that he hung on the rim a little bit there, and the ball rattled in a little bit more. So the finish was, what was the finish again? The finish was a 2. First try, so he gets a score of 58. The complexity there was good. I think he really carried with the flight and style there. All right, and then the next dunk. Fast forward, we got a lob right here. Distance with the windmill. Super far, off 2 feet as well, so he's 1 foot and 2 foot. Distance, windmill. Nice, look at the height. So obviously with the camera, where the camera is positioned, it looks like he's neck at rim, because if you try and draw a straight line from the rim to where he's at, it looks like it's neck at rim, but it could honestly be, if you were looking at it from completely the side angle, he could even just be like maybe forehead at rim, I would say. But it's hard to gauge, so I'm gonna assume it's around forehead at rim. And then the finish was strong. That was a strong finish. Really hard in the back of the rim there. The height was great. He got distance, and the style was nice. It wasn't like over exaggerated, but it was a full windmill. The legs kind of scrunch in and then they kick back out. Not too much like scissor kicking or anything, but again, like it was a pretty enough looking windmill. So we have a lob windmill. The lob itself gets you a point. The windmill is 16 points. The complexity is 17. Flight, we have a 4. He jumped really high. Style 3.5, and the finish was a 4 because, you know what, it was punchy. It was also first try. So total score of 63. That is a huge score. All right, we're gonna move forward. So his final dunk move a little bit forward here. This one's very interesting. This is this one's interesting. So pretty cool. He goes all the way around his back and then continues to almost do like a scoop, kind of a reverse, kind of a 360 scoop. It's a mixture of a lot of things. And something interesting to note, and this is not in our system, and maybe this needs to be added some way, somehow. He is still on the ground. His toe is still on the ground, and he has started that behind the back motion extremely early, which is hyper efficient. But I'm not taking points off complexity for starting this motion so late. The behind the back, it looks like he has contact right here while his foot is already on the ground. And from here, it is behind the back, and then once we move forward, it's almost like he's doing a slingshot from this position, and he's adding a spin to it. So it is like a 180. And we're looking at his feet displaced, like, okay, where is he taking off? Where is his toes facing on takeoff? This way. And then we look at where is his chest facing on the finish, and it's completely that way. So that is a 180. So I think later down the road, if we could add it to the system, I think complexity might get docked a little bit if you are starting motions super, super early. I think it's an awesome dunk, and I know there's some one-footers, especially guys who are really tall, who are starting their motions, who have the ability to start motions really early for doing their one-foot dunks, and it's still behind the back. So we have the complexity is way high because I gave him full complexity score, 26.25. The behind the back is huge. And when you add two dunks together, this could be like a slingshot mixed in with a behind the back or a scoop mixed in with a behind the back. When you add those in the system, it kind of starts breaking the system, and it just scores just absurdly. So I tried to make it as fair as possible and put in the right points that he should get. So I'm not doubling the score by adding a slingshot to it. It's a behind the back, and then I'm adding a few other things that would make sense to make this fit. So 26.25 is the complexity. Flight is a 2. He didn't jump too high on this one. Obviously, he was hyper focused on getting the good transfer. Style was actually 2.5. When it comes to behind the back, or especially this dunk, it's really hard to really add some sort of extra flair to it. He got really good extension with his arm, and I thought that was about it. Overall, when you look at it in full motion a few times, it was super smooth. It was super smooth. It was just a little bit straight, a little bit stiff, but I think still a cool looking dunk. I liked it, but still style is going to be 2.5. Finish was solid at a 3. And again, first try on everything so far. 56.3 is going to be his total score for that one. All right, and then let's look. We have the third dunker. That was his final dunk. Okay, so our third dunker, let's go. We got Nick. So Nick is 5'7". Nick is our shortest dunker here. Here's his Instagram. Nick in his bag. Nick, okay. Let's take a look. I've went through these dunks once now. This is my second time going through them, and hey, Nick with a nasty 360 scoop. So Nick jumps high. Nick jumps high. Let's say that is very close, and it's hard to say again because of this angle. You could say like, oh, look at that. He's like chin at rim, but it's angles as well. So I'm gonna assume this might be like eyes maybe at rim if you look at it from the side. Could be higher, to be honest. This could be really close to a 40-inch jump, or it could be anywhere from like a 38 to a 41. Who knows? I'm not too sure. Super good jump. Really well executed and very efficient on this 360 scoop. And then the finish was phenomenal. So scores. Let's go. Let's take a look. 360 scoop. The complexity got a 20.4. I think he did a full 180 rotation, and the flight 4.5. I almost gave him the 5. I'm not too sure if it was a 40-inch jump. If it was like certain it was a 40-inch, he would have gotten the 5. But right now, 4.5. Style, it was great for a 360 scoop. The only thing I would do to try and really add more points to that style is maybe if he threw the lob a little bit higher, did a higher catch, delayed on the catch maybe, Or maybe if we had a little bit more leg flare, it's harder to do that off 1 foot for a 360 scoop. So anyway, 3.5 for the style. Finish was really precise. I'm gonna say it was precise. It was punchy and precise, but I didn't think it was quite there for the 4. So 3.5, and also second try. Keep in mind that was second try, so that actually took 2 points off. 64.4 is his score, which is a huge score. All right, let's go to Nick's second dunk. Oh my goodness. Okay, he's crushing. He's crushing all these dunks. 360 windmill off 1. Done very well. I want to add full pump right there. Full extension with the windmill, I would say, full enough. Can he extend his arm a little bit more? Yeah, he can. I think I saw his reach was like 7'2", so it's not gonna, look as crazy as somebody who has an insane wingspan as well. So I thought that was extended enough to be like a full. That is a super full windmill. In the finish, he destroyed it, and the net being broken here didn't help him as it slams and the ball slams his face afterwards. Very well executed. That looks so good in full motion. Okay, let's look at the score. Let's look at the score. What we got? 360 windmill. Okay, 17.6 on the complexity. Flight 4, style 4, finish 4. And it was actually a third try. That took him 3 tries, so it took off 5 points, which gives him a total of 60.6. Still really high, still really high. Okay, let's go to Nick's final dunk. All right. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that. I think most people don't even know what that is. It looks like a delayed windmill of some sorts, but what we call that is a pendulum created by Jordan Kilgannon. That is a pendulum off 1 foot. I don't know if I've ever seen that off 1 foot. That's super cool. So this guy studies dunking to pull that one off. Now that is creative. And when we see pendulums, especially off 2 foot, we see it a lot off of push-offs, and they look pretty nuts off of push-offs. And even when I were to do pendulums on low rims, it looks ugly. He made it look really good. It's hard to like really add a crazy amount of style to it, but this is really, really, really cool. So I liked this one a lot, and he also destroyed the finish too. Like the finish, he had power, he rebounded off the rim. The extension here, it's hard to see how far he really brought it. And for me, and when I used to do my pendulums on a like 910 or 99, that's about the same height I would bring it. Jordan Kilgannon, who is super picky with his dunks and his pendulums, he would say he needs the pendulum all the way out here to the side and then bring it through. So, I mean, maybe Jordan might not call this a full pendulum, but I'm giving him the complexity of the pendulum. So the pendulum complexity is a solid 23 points. Flight 4, style 3, finish 3.5. This was also third try, so he gets a score of 60. And that is the final dunk of the contest. So let's take a look at the summary. All right, let's open this up. The best dunk, the highest scored dunk, it was a close one, but it was Nick's 360 lob scoop, which was nuts. Okay, let's go to the scoreboard. We have a winner. Nick, with a score of 185, has won this USF dunk contest. He takes the gold, he takes it. Porter comes in second and Jacob comes in third. All very respectable scores. I think everybody did a good job. They brought a lot of good dunks to the table. And honestly, I was stumped in some cases for doing the complexity, but it all worked out. Pretty close for the top two, especially. This was really fun. I thought this was a really good contest, and I like that colleges are doing this, and I would love to see more contests like this in the future. But that is all I got. Again, these are the scores. I'll run through really quick if anyone wants to see like this summary. Here's all the stats. I'll leave that up. You can pause it if you want to. And that is it. That is me judging the USF dunk contest, first WDA dunk contest. That was fun. That was fun. All right, catch you guys next time.
Ready? Yeah. Woo. That was nice. Come on, get up. Oh, yo. That was nice. Come on, get up.
Hey,
Nice. Hell yeah.
Hit himself in the head too.
Come on, get up. Oh, hell yeah. That was nice.